Commissioner Zerdy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everybody. You've heard me speak a little bit from time to time about the work the legislator's been attempting to put in play with respect to sober houses. Last year, the legislature took up the issue of sober houses, and somehow the issue was kind of kicked back to the Department of Children and Family Services to kind of do a study and an assessment, if you will, of the situation and to make recommendations to the governor as to how to proceed with the issue of sober houses throughout the state. Unfortunately, many of us feel that the report that came back from Department of Children and Family Services was woefully inadequate, as that department is understaffed and underfunded, and we don't feel like they really treated the issue and gave it the consideration it really deserved. So it's kind of come back again this year. The legislature is going to have another opportunity, I think, to take a look at sober houses. And what I have with me this evening, Madam Mayor, for your review and for the rest of the body, is a letter penned to the governor requesting his support of some sort of regulation or oversight, if you will, of the sober house industry. The big issue here with sober houses, as many people know and recognize, is that folks that would be participating within those types of homes or whatever are a protected class through ADA. So it's very difficult for state or local agencies to, by ordinance, do anything to maybe try to box them out or kind of, put them in a certain area of town or whatever. So what we're looking for is some type of relief from the state that says there needs to be some regulation on how the sober house itself operates. And that's the essence of this letter. And what I'd like to do is just pass the letter down this evening, and if you all take a look at it, either after the meeting tonight, and we're looking for possibly a signature from each of us to sign off on our support for the governor's support of regulating or asking the legislature to regulate sober houses going forward. Very important issue, and in fact, here in Lake Worth, I think we're getting to the brunt. Lake Worth, Delray, we're really starting to get the brunt of the sober house issue, and if any of you have been impacted by it directly in your neighborhoods, it can be a very trying situation with the noise and the traffic and new people coming and going all the time. It's going to be very stressful. So we're hoping that the state will step up this year and provide some relief, even if it's from a regulatory standpoint. So that letter can be circulated, and we're looking for your buy-in and your signature.
Okay.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Commissioner Zerdy?
Thank you, Mayor. With a packed house tonight, it's really great. Of course, it's because of all the neighborhood associations, which is, again, our lifeline here between getting the real people that are passionate about our city and connecting to our community. And we'd like to reach out to you all. I wanted to also reinforce that I think Sunday with the South Palm Park event coming up, it's going to be very good, and I think should be well attended. Also on Sunday mornings, Bryant Park has a coffee that they have at 9 o'clock, that's informal over there at the park to get to know some more folks, so please come over that. I wanted to, Mayor, just ask this commission if they might entertain something tonight for the next meeting. To introduce a group that has formed recently in the city, the Cottages of Lake Worth, and they have taken upon themselves a mission to promote quite a valuable resource that we have because of we have numerous smaller sites, small lots, smaller houses that are probably quite a bit of the DNA in our city, as well as the fact that just recently our land development regulations that we passed this summer do a really good job protecting the whole city's these small cottages and this type of houses the way that's outlined in our code. And I believe Teresa Miller and also we have Roger is here, Marty, Judith, and Wes. I mean, there's a lot of y'all that are in this group. I think the last meeting y'all had, it was about 25 people that might have attended that. So there's a tremendous amount of interest. Well, what I'd like to ask is that if we could entertain them to be on the agenda to make a presentation, if that'd be all right with the commission, at our next meeting.
I'm fine with that, for presentation. Sure,
Okay.
consensus?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it interpretive dance?
Interpretive dance follows, and then cake.
Okay. And again, it's a very positive movement here, positive thing happening, and I think it's something that's excellent, that's starting to take some root.
Excellent, sounds good.
Commissioner Mack,
Can't wait for the presentation.
I know you're anxious.
Commissioner Amoroso?
Oh, I'm not finished.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Also, on December 7th, which is a Saturday, we have Art and Wine at the ECO, which is the Eco Center, coming up. The Mango Groves Neighborhood Association is putting that on. There's some little flyers that are around here today. They did it last year. It was really a fun event. Of course, it's I'm fortunate to participate in that building over there, so I'll be doing some tours later on in the afternoon. Mr. Blackman there is going to be performing Cat in the Hat again for the kids. There's wine and small bites to eat. The Sacred Heart Church's choir is going to be singing, and there's a holiday gift show, all kinds of things going on. So that's December 7th, Saturday. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Commissioner Amoroso?
A lot going on. First of all, every year I attend the NeighborWorks Conference. Just by attending the NeighborWorks Conference, we get a $2,000 grant to bring back to our city. The first year we did My Local Hero. We did it in the summertime. It was a great turnout, but we'll actually be moving that to February to an evening on the avenue where it's a little bit cooler. This past year, what we did is the board identified that the Leisure Services Department needed a good press piece. What we were finding out is a lot of the kids, a lot of the programs we had in the city weren't being publicized. So what we did is, with that money, we created a leisure service piece that can be used over and over and over the years. Very generic, but it sends a message exactly what Leisure Services is doing to the city. And then this year, we're actually using it to take H Street Park, which is here on H Street behind Compass, to the next level with some landscapes, some other pieces of equipment. So that's a great thing that we're doing there. Tropical Festival was Saturday, put on by the NET team and the CRA. Great turnout. It was a free barbecue, East meets West, at the Shuffleboard Courts. Want to remind everyone, first and third evenings on the Avenue downtown in the Plaza. This week starts Bonfires on the Beach. Terry, our director up at the casino, is actually renamed it Seaside Celebration and taken it to the next level. So it'll be bonfires on the beach with vendors and music and just a lot going on there. So we have first and third and then second and fourth with bonfires on the beach. Coming up on the 15th of November, we've taken Evening on the Avenue to the next level with a group out of Miami called Rock Religion. And there's actually going to be 15 different bands all over the city, with the big band being at the Evening on the Avenues, but there'll be a lot going on all over the city, on J Street, on K Street, on L Street. So that's a huge move for Evening on the Avenues. Christmas parade's coming Saturday, December 14th. That's an evening parade, so plan accordingly. But prior to that, this weekend, we have the Veterans Day Parade. Last year, the Commission and the Mayor brought back the Veterans Day Parade. It's this Saturday, the 9th. Downtown, it's a day parade. It's at 11 a.m. With the festival the ceremony with the mayor and the commission in the plaza following. And then at 3 o'clock in Bryant Park, we brought back with the retired firefighters the chili cook-off. So it'll be a full day with the parade starting at 11, chili cook-off in Bryant Park at 3. Last but not least, the bikers are back. The bikers are meeting every Thursday at 5:30. This is Bicyclist. They decorate their bicycles. If you haven't seen it, it's phenomenal. They do Christmas caroling for the holidays. But every Thursday they meet at Bryant Park at 5:30 and take off sharply at 6, so don't be late. That's what I got.
All right, I want to thank the Seaside Celebrations that we have too. I want to remind everyone also, we now have a complete dance calendar for the ballroom. So I don't know if you've seen the press releases or not, but We have all kinds of dances happening now, community dances happening. We've got a whole schedule of them happening at our beautiful ballroom on the beach. So if you have anyone that enjoys that, there's gonna be, it's a ticket, there's a ticket price involved in a small ticket price, but it includes parking and a beverage and order, different things for different events, so it'll be different stuff for each one. But you can find out all about it, so I know that a lot of people are excited. I can mention that when we were talking about the ballroom years ago, and now to actually see it happening there is terrific.
Where can people find out about that?
They can call 586-3000, or they can log on to lakeworth.org, and that schedule, and that press release, I believe, is put up there, isn't it? It's under events.
And there's flyers out.
And you guys get used to using our new website. If you haven't seen it, if you're used to, maneuvering that old one when you couldn't find anything, now you can find things on there. We've got a great, great schedule of events. We've got so much stuff happening, as you heard Commissioner Amoroso, so please. I want to thank Palm Beach Broadcasting. They gave us some good shout-outs for I got to go and relive my radio days over at Palm Beach Broadcasting on, I'm trying to think, was it B106 or X? I can't remember the
Change.
X102.3 and WRMF and Sunny and WIRK. They were promoting our beautiful city, and they gave us some great free exposure, so I want to thank them very much for that. Also, we had something very interesting. We were called and invited to a sister city meeting, and a new kind of sister city meeting, which was an organization. Myself, I was honored to be invited to West Palm Beach to join Mayor Moya, and also the leaders of the cities of Riviera Beach, Mangonia Park, Lake Park, and ourselves. Excuse my voice, I'm changing. But we were invited there to talk about a lot of the issues that we share. A lot of times we talk about everything from people complain about prostitution on Dixie Highway, and as many people will tell you, all of a sudden we do a couple of stings, we get it off of Dixie Highway, and then it goes where Lake Worth is Lantana's complaining about it, or West Palms, and they're shoving it out of their city, and it's coming down to Lake Worth, and then we're getting the people, same people that were there. So it was a good eye-opening when they talked about their meetings, West Palm Beach in particular, Cat and Silva, how they meet with you guys regularly, and you guys work together on a lot of different things. But also to share things like ordinances. We have an ordinance that reads one way on one side of the border. Let's look at our northern border, for example. And they have the ordinance written in a different way on the other side. So we're conflicting. So where can we help one another as cities? They were very, very proud of the squatters ordinance that we just recently was one of the many, the board ups and squatters and stuff like that. They were interested. Hey, how did you do that? What do could we see that? There's so many things that we can be doing when we look at costs and things that we spend money on over time, and the studies that we do and the things that we have. A lot of the things we're all doing is something that they're doing exactly the same thing in the city next to us. So how can we work together and do this and share information and share costs when certain things are happening? What each one does affects the other. And we all have similar issues such as just US 1, Broadway, Dixie, a lot of the issues of blight or abandoned businesses, business community, economic development. A lot of these same things, that there are 2 job fairs that are coming on. How many, was it about 1,000 jobs? The new outlet mall that's going to be opening up at Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, over 1,000 new positions. They're going to be hiring and having a job fair in January. We have a huge joblessness rate here in our city. We need to get that information out. We need to work with these other cities so that we know we can put that information out there that, hey, there's 1,000 jobs. How often do we get that in close proximity to our citizens and that takes jobs? So it's a lot of things that a symbiotic relationship that we can form by doing this, and I think it's a really good first move. And I thank West Palm Beach for initiating this meeting, and I've offered to host the next meeting at our ballroom in the coming months. So I will let you know about that, but it's something I don't want to drop the ball on because I really think there's a lot of progress that can be made and that can be shared and costs can be saved, and we can support one another. So I'm happy to say we started doing that. On another note, let's see, that event was great at the Shuffleboard Court. We had a candlelight vigil also that took place down at Bryant Park in the last week or so in honor of victims of crime here in our city. And Also, we had on a happy note, we had a ribbon cutting at E.R. Bradley's at our golf course, if you haven't heard. E.R. Bradley's, now called Beach Club, is open at our beautiful, beautiful golf course facility. And if you want to go down there, they're open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So you can now have dinner on the golf course overlooking the beautiful Intracoastal Waterway. They built a deck out back, and you can enjoy the beautiful cool weather now of winter and a great meal. So I just want to let you know that. Welcome to our family. Commissioner McBoy?
And I assume you'll be, when we host the Sister City one at the ballroom, you'll be charging them a small fee, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
good.
I thought you were going to pick up that tab.
Thank you for those announcements. I just wanted to share a little bit. One thing, I attended, representing the city and just to learn, a recent conference in mid-October that Florida Atlantic University put on the second annual Sea Level Rise Summit, and they called it Resilience in the Face of Change. Just a few highlights from that. It was very well attended. There's another follow-up, slightly different summit that's happening Thursday and Friday, and that is full. They are packed. A couple things that I would not have thought of. As many of you are aware, there is a, I forget what it's four county, I think, regional climate compact that's been worked on. Broward County has been very active on that and taken the lead, but Palm Beach County is close behind on planning for sea level rise and climate change. Some things that you might not think of. There was an attorney, senior attorney, who mentioned that what he's seeing is that realtors are going to need to start disclosing risks of sea level rise and what that might affect on properties that they sell. There was a reinsurer who provides sort of the equivalent of malpractice insurance to realtors. And he was pointing out that if realtors don't disclose that insurance, those rates will go up over time. So it's kind of interesting, even the business community is picking up on some of these things. Another one that I hadn't really thought about is health effects of sea level rise. As storm surges increase and you wash things inland, there are concerns with that. Obviously there are transportation concerns. A1A down in Miami has already had troubles. I was at the King Tide in Delray Beach a couple weeks ago, and there are homeowners that have water coming into their living rooms twice a year at this point. As governments, we are active on it, including the regional compact, climate compact that I mentioned. But the Florida Department of Public Health has a program called Building Resilience Against Climate Effects. So they're thinking ahead of what things do we need to do to be planning for that. At the federal level, the CDC in Atlanta has a program that we might want to look into called Climate Ready States and Climate Ready Cities. So the things that we could get ourselves, assuming that we did some of those things, we could be recognized as doing something on it. An interesting little fact, in Florida at the water management districts, we typically plan for 100-year floods, the size of a flood that you would expect every 100 years, which if you read the papers you'll notice that they tend to be happening more frequently now. The Dutch plan for 1 in 10,000 year floods. They really think about this stuff pretty hard. And the other folks that you might not think about on people who are thinking very hard about climate change and sea level rise and the need to plan for it is the military. Navy Captain Dr. Joseph Bouchard was there. He's been involved in a number of bases in the Maryland area and other parts of the world, and they have very serious thought out plans of how they're going to deal with certain things. Very interesting images of what do you do when some of your utilities are now at risk because they were put in at a time when they were above typical water heights, but they're not as it's coming up. And a comment that I thought was interesting from the mayor of Broward County, Kristen Jacobs. She pointed out that citizens look to government to be proactive and protect us. We look to government to protect us from hurricanes and do planning. Obviously, you can't put up a sign that says we don't want any hurricanes in Florida, but you can do a lot of planning, and that's why there are emergency operations centers. And that same mentality, she's finding that constituents, more so in Broward, because they're very low, they're only, parts of Broward are only 4 feet above current sea level and sinking as it is. But constituents want to know that their elected officials are aware of these problems and that they're taking action to do something about it. So, food for thought on all of that.
Thank you very much. Okay.